No, I don't think so. Or we'll hope not, and we'll find out tomorrow at 1:45 whether it was too long or not. But look, it was a well-deserved rest. Playing 2 games in 4 days is tough on everyone, and the boys have come out of it really well. So we haven't trained them that hard this week, but given them enough load that hopefully come tomorrow afternoon against Brisbane will perform well.
So after that 4-day break, it was something that was much needed, especially after the physicality event that day?
I just think playing Carlton and Collingwood, 2 very good teams in 4 days is tough. Well, playing them in 7 days is tough enough, but 4 days is pretty tough. And to get one result going our way, and a close one was, if you look back in hindsight, it wasn't a bad couple of days.
Yeah, with the worry of the letdown, you just played two big rivals in big games, and now you're playing Brisbane.
Oh, this is a huge game for us in terms of where we want to go. And you talk about rivals. Well, Brisbane were the last one we played in the grand final, and they beat us pretty convincingly in that game. And they've really played pretty well against us in the last 3 or 4 years. So this will not be a letdown. And our boys in front of our home crowd at Etihad Stadium are keen for a big performance.
Are you at the stage now in the team's makeup where you need to be really competitive against Collingwood and Carlton, those sort of teams, but these are the games you really need to win, with all respect to Brisbane?
We go into every game and we're trying to win, and that's one of the things that we've tried to bring in as a coaching group and a philosophy that hopefully our supporters go along to the game thinking we can win every game, and definitely our players go in. So whether we're playing the best team in the competition or not, we go in trying to win the game. And Brisbane have been very good at certain times this year, and their hardness around the ball, their ability to win the contested ball is excellent. And with Brown probably having played 2 or 3 games now and coming into some match fitness and form, we see them as a very dangerous opponent.
So Michael Hurley obviously missed this week and possibly next week as well?
Hurls is pretty much running flat out again. We'll think about playing him next week, but we'll just err on the side of caution probably. But he's put his hand up and says he's ready to go. It just shows how minor sort of the injuries we're getting are. But I think at this time of the year you need to be a little bit more cautious than aggressive.
His history will play a part in that?
What history is that?
He's had some hamstring problems.
Yeah, this is his second hamstring, but it's on the other leg, so we'll be careful. Pearsy's got a bit of a sore knee, actually. Yeah, Persy, obviously with all these dramas over the last sort of 2 years with having a sore foot, I think it was his spleen, he ruptured, that Persy playing 5 games in a row is a pretty good effort for Tate at this stage, and we'll give him a week off this week and look to bring him back against West Coast.
Obviously, you've lost 2 key defenders this week, and I know you don't want them too far ahead, but against West Coast you probably need all the tall guys you can muster.
Yeah, you're right with your first statement. We'll look to this week, and I think that if you try and look past your next opponent, you're in huge danger of getting beaten. Brisbane are a very good team around the ball. Simon Black, Adcock, Rich, Rockcliffe's playing a really interesting role through the midfield at the moment up forward. We've got our work cut out this week, and we'll focus on that. We'll get through that and see what happens.
James, were you able to take anything out of Brisbane's game against Geelong at the weekend given the conditions, or do you almost have to go back before that and say we can't get a lot of Brisbane's game planned?
Look, it's obviously a different game, but I thought Brisbane were a bit unlucky in that first quarter not to have kicked more goals. I think they had quite a lot of scoring shots early in the game, and Geelong probably converted better than Brisbane did. But the time they had the ball in the forward half of the ground was very impressive. They beat the Suns the week before, and against Fremantle the week before they had a lot of the ball. So they're not going. They're going okay, and we're only going okay as well. So I think it's a really interesting game. Look, I think it's very dangerous to look at results entirely. You've got to look at the way you're playing. And if you look back 3 weeks ago, we were only lucky to beat the Gold Coast. And Port Adelaide, we only won by a little bit, but against Carlton, we played very well. We're hoping that our form is getting better as the year's going on. But after 10 days of not playing, then we have to start getting back to playing footy again. And tomorrow, rather than looking back on where we are, tomorrow's about playing our best football and hopefully putting a win on the board.
Have you been happy, James, with how Ryder and Belchamp as a teaming up and happy for the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, we've been very happy. I think we probably Darren Jolly, probably had the best of us last week, and Tommy and Paddy would be the first to say that they want to improve on that game. But the week before against Carlton, they played very well. So as a ruck unit, we think it's one of our strengths. and certainly Tommy getting a lot more game time is only good for him and his development.
We see you've done with the geriatrics, Brown and Fletcher.
It'd be good, wouldn't it? It'd be good. I wouldn't call either of them geriatrics if I was in the room, particularly Brownie. I think you'd. It's a bit of a worry to say that. You didn't say that on microphone, did you? No, you waited for me to say it. But yeah, look, that might happen. Brownie's obviously someone who we've got a huge amount of respect for, and I think he's played 3 or 4 games now, 3 games back. You'd have to think that his match fitness is coming back, and he's probably ready for a big game. So our backmen have got a big job ahead of them, and certainly our midfield, we'd like to make sure the ball doesn't get down there often enough for him to have an input on the game.
James, you've welcomed back 3 guys who've sort of had not extended layoffs, but they've been out for a few weeks. How are they all tracking, the 3 of them? Good.
Trav Collier, who broke his thumb the Wednesday before round 1 and has had an amazing pre-season, played last week in the reserves and played very well. Nathan was really back in full training a week after he had that slight hamstring, and has been training very solidly for 2 weeks. And Courtney the same. The interesting thing with our hamstrings is the guys have been back and running flat out a week to 10 days after they've hurt them, and that's enabled us to get some good workload into the guys for another week before we've played them. So we're confident those guys will play well tomorrow.
Do you think you've got a good depth coming on now, given that McVeigh was pretty close to being called at the season?
Yeah, look, Mark was very unlucky not to get in the team. We just thought that the way Leroy and Alwyn have been playing, it's very hard for one of those to miss out. I mean, they've been exceptional for us since Alwyn has come into the team, and we've gone that way, but there's no doubt Mark will be in line for selection next week. Thanks, guys.